Good morning, Mrs. Toad. Today, in this video, we'll be testing our hypothesis, which is commercially available lactase is not effective in making milk lactose-free. To test this, we'll of course need lactase, and we obtain this through a brand called Colif. And it says infant drops on the package, but as we can see from the ingredients, it only contains glycerol and lactase and therefore can be consumed by people of any age. It comes in a little dropper, but we will not be needing this as we are unsure of the consistency of each drop, and therefore we will be using 1 milliliter syringe. And last but definitely not least, we will of course need milk. To see if the lactase actually works, we will be needing glucose test strips. So, when the lactase breaks down the lactose into glucose and galactose, the glucose levels will increase. Therefore, when the glucose levels increase, we will be able to say that lactase is effective. When we are looking at a glucose test strip, when it gets darker, we will know that the glucose levels have increased. Now, let's start the experiment. First, we will have to dip a glucose test strip into the milk so that we know that there is no glucose before adding anything to it. And as expected, it came out negative. Next, I measured out 1 milliliter of lactase, and 1 milliliter of lactase is for 1 liter of milk. And I measured out 1 milliliter of lactase because on the box it says 20 drops of lactase, which equates to about 1 milliliter. And as you can see here, I measured out exactly 1 milliliter. Once I've carefully measured this out, I poured the lactase into the milk. Once I poured it into the milk, I shook it vigorously before it went into the fridge. 10 minutes later, I dipped the glucose test strip into the carton of milk. And despite it only being a short amount of time, I could still see a significant increase in the glucose levels. As you can see, it had almost reached 200, and this is really impressive. After 1 hour, I dipped another glucose test strip into it and tested the glucose levels again. This time I was actually shocked. The glucose levels had risen to almost 2000. And lastly, at 24 hours of being in the fridge, I tested it again, and this time I can safely say that we have achieved lactose-free milk. And here are our results after repeating the experiment 3 times. And credits to George for creating this graph. This graph shows the drastic increase in glucose. But most importantly, what's the taste? So I drank it and well, it tasted good. It tasted just like milk. And that's the end of the video. Thank you and have a nice day.